right, we are at the Bitcoin conference and the lines are wild. So I saw a post on Twitter yesterday about the Miami Bull. There she is. I feel like it's a she.
This is gonna be the Giga Chat of Giga Chat.
Okay, we are at the Arcules booth, and this is Kristen. So, Kristen, if you could give us just a little heads up on what Arcules is.
Absolutely. So, Arcules is a hardware wallet for storing your crypto. There's a secure element inside that generates and stores the private keys to your account. It uses 3 factors of authentication: something that you are, which is your biometric; something that you know, which is your PIN code that you create; and something that you have, which is the actual card.
So we're at the Voyager booth with
Mateo.
Mateo. So Mateo, can you give us a little heads up on what Voyager is and maybe what makes it a little different?
Sure. So Voyager is an easy and simple to use crypto mobile app. You can go to the App Store and find us. And if you're just getting started in crypto, you're very crypto curious, you want to get involved, or you're already invested and you're looking for a better place to be able to bring your assets, you can come right over to Voyager. We have over 100 different coins listed on the platform, and we pay rewards to you just by holding these assets in your portfolio on over 50 different assets. So we have a huge selection. And one of the things that makes us unique is that we are a brokerage. We are not an exchange. We are a consumer-centric company, meaning that we're interested in taking care of you, the customer, those who are holding assets with us. And for those who are customers, we actually bring you Fundstrat research every single week.
Hey!
Directly to your inbox on the different coins that we support. So we do that to help educate you. We want to make sure that you're informed, that you can make your own decisions, do your own research, but of course, grow your wealth and grow your crypto portfolio.
I'm into growing my wealth.
Okay,
so,
great.
Yeah.
But I think we could get to happily reading millions. Yeah, this chart actually is plotting 2 things. The dark line is the realized volatility of gold, and the light blue line is the realized volatility of Bitcoin. What we circled here is the period in the early 70s when individuals could once again own gold as an investment in America, and that's because of getting off the gold standard. And what you see is that in that first 5 or 6 year period, gold's volatility exploded. So in the early days, gold was a highly volatile asset. But then as Brian mentioned, once gold got to that $10 trillion market cap, the realized volatility of gold has actually collapsed. I think Bitcoin's going to undergo the same process, that today with the number of households owning Bitcoin being so small, penetration being so low, we should expect Bitcoin to be hyper volatile. But as it gets towards 90% penetration, realized volatility should drop.
So we are at the Bitcoin conference here in Miami, and we're on day 2. Day 1 was the industry day with much more of an institutional focus, and today it's kind of just everyone, it's the general public. So I caught up with our digital assets team, and we're gonna get a little bit of their insights. I know you haven't seen everything, but like, what is anything like new, different, enlightening?
Well, I mean, first things first, this place is massive.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking earlier, a few years ago, I think this was hosted in a Marriott ballroom, and now we're in a facility that could host a car or boat show. So, I mean, just the sheer magnitude of the event kind of speaks to the strides of the industry itself. But beyond that, I think, you know, some of the bigger points that have been touched upon by some of the presenters and just a lot of conversations that I'm having with investors and companies in the space. I think there's a pretty concerted effort to start building, shift focus from hodl to buildle, so to speak. There were a couple big announcements pertaining to Lightning and integrating the Lightning network with a couple of large products. Because at some point, obviously, we want to have Bitcoin as this store of this pristine collateral, this amazing store of value, governed by this immutable protocol. But at some point, you're going to have to use the value that you build and the wealth that you build in Bitcoin. And I think that's been the most encouraging.
I was really surprised at how many miners I've never seen in one space. Like, I think it's very compartmentalized, but to see so many mining companies and different.
Yeah, I was very taken aback by the sheer quantity of mining companies here. I think it speaks to the fact that, I mean, mining as an industry has just effectively become entrenched in American society. People are generally fired up about it, and there's a big emphasis on the intersection of Bitcoin mining and clean energy here.
Yeah, so we're here like at the booths. I think, like you alluded to, Carrie, earlier, there's definitely a lot of mining presence amongst us.
For sure.
You're starting to see a lot more like picks and shovel plays, especially in the Bitcoin community, right? So that ranges from like on and off ramps, classic, exchanges. You're starting to see, as like we have seen from like our the demand from our institutional investors, there's more sort of service providers catering to that demand, right? So prime brokerages, custodians, wallet service providers. That's what I'm sort of seeing.
Go tell your mother, go tell somebody that Bitcoin's going to change the world and they should figure out more about it, because the number one thing you can do is educate the world on Bitcoin and let people know they need to figure out Bitcoin. And every one of you does make a difference, because I would never get those meetings if it wasn't like someone that went and said, you got to pay attention. And my last point to you, you do not sell your Bitcoin.